Adventure isn't just about riding far, it's about riding anywhere. And this is the machine built for it.
Hello everyone, I'm Ashish Raorane. I'm a cross-country rally athlete and a Dakar rally racer, and today I'm here to test a very special machine. As you all know, I've been racing Dakars and all my cross-country rallies on a KTM rally replica, one of the bikes I really love. I always tell people that if I had to choose one motorcycle to have in my garage, that would be the KTM Rally Replica. I also extensively train on KTMs, so there's something very familiar for me about KTMs, and today I'm getting to ride something that I've personally been really looking forward to. So I've extensively ridden the 390 Adventure last gen, even through some of the competitive stuff, like I'm sure you've seen the Kunzum Kaiser video as well. So this is a huge leap forward, I feel, in terms of the way the bike handles, the power delivery, everything. So it's been a couple of days on this bike. Yesterday more of road, today more of off-road. Loved it on the road. Cruise control was working really well, very less rider fatigue, the way it's built for the roads. And as you of course know, off-road is what I enjoy the most, and today was really so much fun. We are here in like a quarry kind of space, and there's so many rocks, so much of gnarly stuff, but I enjoyed the fast stuff and the slow stuff. Did a few of those gnarly climbs. The low end torque, I always talk about, you know, the stall characteristics of a motorcycle, and this is something that I've always loved about KTMs. The stall characteristic is so good. You can have it in very low RPM and the torque helps you carry speed, like really slowly climbing stuff. Yeah, it's pretty neat, nice and easy. It just crawls along, chugs along. So even if you're like a beginner, that's really useful. I would like to climb something really fast, but if you are starting out, you're not going to do that, and that is where, you know, you just want to let the motorcycle crawl up stuff, and it does it brilliantly. Yeah, and I push the thing. That is of course what I enjoy. So precise. The chassis is really stable. It's something that I've always enjoyed about KTMs. That's the chassis. Be it my rally replica motorcycle, be it my enduro that I train on, and this is no different. The chassis is so good, so precise. Even under hard braking, the bike doesn't waver, and that is something I really love. It builds so much confidence. It took me all of 10 minutes. Of course, it's a new motorcycle. You know, when you come on a new motorcycle, you're trying to get used to how the bike handles, how the braking is, how the throttle response is. It took me all of 10 minutes, and I'm pretty much riding like how I would ride my training motorcycles or my dirt bikes. So firstly, to begin with, it's the ride modes and all the options that you have within the ride modes. This morning when I started riding off-road, I just plain put it in the off-road ride mode. Yeah, the bike performs well. Essentially what the off-road ride mode does is it takes away your MTC. So your MTC is off. It puts it into off-road ABS, whereby your rear ABS is off. It leaves the front ABS on, which is a great safety net to have, especially if you are a beginner. But what I really liked is that I can go and configure this off-road mode. So I went in and I changed the map to street, which will give me even more higher and crisp power delivery. So this is something that I really like. I have the MTC off, I have the ABS off, but I have the street map on. And this is still in the off-road mode. Brilliant stuff to do, because when you have this kind of control, it kind of opens up the motorcycle to a varied audience, because you could be a novice just starting and you don't want that high revving, you know, crisp throttle. You want something a little toned down, smoothened out to help you learn. And if you are an intermediate or an advanced rider who loves to push the motorcycle off-road, you can still have it in off-road mode, but have that really crisp power delivery, and you're going to really enjoy that. Well, I haven't dinged it or scratched it after pushing it so much all day. So I suppose it's been designed really well. Another thing, again, with an underbelly exhaust is that because you don't have something sticking out to one side, I think it really helps in mass centralization. So even if you're under heavy braking, the bike's not going to sway. You can really brake deep into corners. So yeah, I mean, I haven't broken it yet. Let's put it that way. So one of the things that you always enjoy about riding off-road is, getting your motorcycle to jump over stuff, stones, logs. And out here in this quarry that we are riding today, there are so many big rocks. I had absolutely a blast, jumping over these rocks, and it was totally, worry-free, if I could put it that way. I haven't broken the bash plate or dinged it anywhere, so I suppose the 230 ground clearance works pretty well. So yesterday, like I said, we were mostly riding the road sections. As you know, backcountry roads, a lot of potholes. So given that it's got fully adjustable long travel suspension on this one, I had left it to the soft setting just so that it absorbs the potholes well, and I'm not getting too fatigued riding through the roads. Today when I got here, I spent some time this morning essentially getting the bike ready for off-road. One of the things was, of course, what I talked about, the ride modes, but the other thing that I spent time on was the suspension. Now, normally when I come off-road, what I like to do is I put the suspension to base setting, and by base I mean that when you have adjustability of whatever amount of clicks, you put it right in the center. I did that for the front for the compression, then for the rebound, as well as the rear where we have the preload and the rebound as well. So I left the preload to where it was, just base setting, the rebound to base setting on the rear as well. Took it out for 10-15 minutes. As I got more confident on the bike and I want to push it more, I started winding up and going on the harder side on the compression and a little bit on the rebound on the front as well. I decided to leave the rear where it is. And I think this is something that's a great tool always to have. And one of the things that's so easy here is that when you want to adjust the suspension, you don't need a screwdriver like you do on a lot of motorcycles. You just have those clickers there, so you can do it very easily. You just stop for a moment, adjust the suspension, and off you go. And that means that even if I went out, on a trail, came back to the road, I wanted to basically go back to the softer setting, all it takes is just, a few clicks to the other side. I don't have to carry a multi-tool, pull out of the pocket, and then, so this is something that I've always liked about KTM's. The suspension, essentially what we call a tool-free suspension setting that can be achieved. Really love this. Suspension too is really nice, supple, can push the bike really hard with whatever is already here. So I'm used to riding motorcycles, essentially my race motorcycle, my training motorcycles, which are way above 900 millimeter seat height, and I'm by no means a tall guy. I claim to be 5'8". Most people say that I'm 5'7", but that's a different debate to have. This here actually is very accessible even for someone my size. And what that also does is that it's the most common question, right? Everybody says, how do you ride a tall bike? But to begin with, this bike is not that tall. The seat height has been very cleverly reduced by having the airbox design revamped, having that underbelly exhaust, and essentially getting all that mass pretty close in the center and tight. So very, very accessible. I can flat foot this, and where it has really helped me today, because of all the stony patches where I had to dab a little bit or have the motorcycle turn around where I didn't know I reached an like a dead end. Having this lower seat height than what I'm really used to, like 900 whatever, made it much more easier essentially to maneuver the motorcycle through tight stuff. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with the way this has been redesigned. So as you know, it's pretty clear that spoked wheels is the choice when you want to go off-road. That's pretty clear for everybody. What I like about this setup here is that they are not only spoked wheels, but they are tubeless spoked wheels. So even if you're out touring, we always worry about punctures and then having to fix that puncture, taking the wheel off, changing the tube and so on. But now that this is tubeless, that's really brilliant, because that again takes away that one worry that we have on long distance or short distance touring for that matter. Off-road, it's a brilliant setup. It's a 21-inch front, 17 rear, 21, which is a standard for off-road stuff. So the bike really glides over obstacles easily. I ran quite low pressures today and pushed the bike, and I know that the wheels are sturdy, because if not, I would have dinged them by now. The wheels have taken some gnarly hits today and they're still perfectly okay. So really love the way the spoked wheels have been designed. Something that I have also seen on other spoked wheel variants is that the spokes run to the side of the rim. This is a very standard setup, which is the strongest way of lacing wheels. I really like what has been done here, because essentially you have your traditional setup with the spokes right in the center, yet it's tubeless. Brilliant stuff. So one of the things again that's very new on this motorcycle is the TFT display that has a host of electronic features. The ride modes to begin with, and the way the data is presented. So if you're in street mode, I have the option of customizing the data I want to see. If I'm like a very data driven guy on a tour, you know, you want to see exactly what's your average speed, your average fuel consumption, and so on. You can essentially design your TFT screen to present that data to you the way you want. What I loved is that the ride mode also lets you choose the type of screen you want. So for instance, you can go into the off-road mode and choose a reduced display, and that reduced display essentially takes away all those varied numbers that are presented on the screen and leaves you just with the gear you are in and the speed you're doing in really large numerals. It takes away all the distractions when you're off-road. So I really loved having that. The switch gear again is highly customizable. Of course, you got your regular cruise control switches and your settings to move through the menu and so on. There's an additional custom switch which I really loved, and I had customized it to change ride modes. So it's one press of a button, it takes you directly to the ride mode. You choose your ride mode, you can choose rain, street or off-road, and once you've selected it, the screen bounces directly back to the main screen. So pretty cool that way, that I can be in the street mode, come off the street and okay, here I see a trail. One push of a button, I'm back in the off-road mode, and the screen changes to the reduced display that I have set it to. Pretty smart stuff. I like when you have these little small, you know, what you call Easter eggs in the design that you can really play with and really customize it to your liking. Yeah, so another great feature that I found on the display is the connectivity function. So essentially you have your phone paired to the motorcycle. There's also a KTM Connect app that we tried out, and there you can have your data and everything accessed through the app as well. You've got your Bluetooth connectivity for your phone calls, your music control. You can also connect your headset directly to the display, and that's another neat feature. So it's really nice. You can leave the phone in your pocket and pretty much go through your list of calls, what you have, go through music, you know, control your headset functions. Pretty neat stuff. So definitely a huge leap from the last gen, of course. It's a great balance between the right amount of power, the way the bike handles, huge leap. I've always believed that you know, you don't really need a huge big motorcycle to go touring or go off-roading. You need to strike that balance, and I feel that we have something really special here. Definitely the next era of adventure in this motorcycle.